Welcome back, you guys, to the one-on-one series with your girl, Kaitie. This is episode 4, y'all. We are already at episode 4. Like, can you believe it? Episode 4 already. Who would have thought that we would be here? Girl, how you doing? Y'all, I am so excited for what we're going to be talking about today. Y'all, when I tell y'all, this has been a journey for me. I know y'all tired of me saying that, but it literally has been a journey for me. Literally a journey for me. Okay, let's get into this video, y'all. I just want to read y'all the scripture. It's something that I came across during my time of studying with God and just trying to really just help myself through something that I had to go through. Help myself through this season that I've been going through lately. And it's two things. It's two things that stuck out to me. But this scripture is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 15. And it says, encourages people to let go of things that weigh them down and instead run towards God. Encourages people to let go of things that weigh them down and instead run towards God. Y'all, I had to ask myself, what things or what people are weighing me down that I get distracted to not go to God? That's the question that I had to ask myself. That's the question I had to ask myself. What things, what people that started to weigh me down, that I started to walk away from God, or I started to get distracted. What things did I let have life in my life, had wreckage throughout my life, that caused me not to run to God. The second thing, y'all, that got me, so that's Hebrews chapter 12, verse 15. The second thing, y'all, that got me was I'm truly learning that I'm literally in control of my response. And I have to be in tune of what triggers me. I was walking around here, don't ever be so spiritual and think you so got it together that you forget that you're still a person. You forget that it is some things that weigh you down. You forget that, you do have triggers. If you have flaws and if people get on your nerves, or if you've been through some things, you must definitely have triggers, sis. And so I'm learning with everything in me to make sure that I am mindful, of what I let weigh me down. I'm learning, that letting go of people is one of the hardest things that you have to do. And for me, it's because, like I said in the last video, or the last episode, that I had to let go of some people who I never thought I ever would have to let go. I never thought I would even have to even deal with that aspect of letting go of people, that they would be included in that. And God told me, God answered me very quickly while I was praying one day. He was like, you thought that because that's what you wanted. That's not what I had for you. So I had to take a step back, and I'm like, God, like, I understand, but like, is this a penalty? Like, is this a penalty? Like, am I being penalized for wanting to have certain people in my life, wanting to have certain things in life, and sometimes they're connected to people, or want to have this and that and third, and God, like, that's not even a part of the journey that I have you on. That's not even part of the purpose that I have you on. Like, yeah, you may think that they're connected to you in this way, but really it's another way that I need to show you that they're connected to you to. And some people are not just a weighing you down, but some people are distractions from what you're really supposed to be doing, because it feels so good in the moment. But then you get to a space where you're just like, you know what? I gotta let you go. And I gotta stop running to you or giving you a response where you could care less on whether or not I'm well. You could care less about me growing. You could care less about me sending you a text message, about me calling you. Like, y'all, letting go of people is so hard. Because, and then too, I'm one of them type of people that I give into people a lot. So I feel like, certain things that I have to deal with, I feel like, I got an attitude at a point in time. I was like, I don't do nothing to nobody. I don't do nothing to nobody. I don't walk around here being mean to nobody. I don't walk around here disrespecting people. I don't walk around here treating people no type of way. And yet they just always find a way to do me wrong in the end. They always find a way to take my kindness for my weakness. um and then I had to sit back and I was like, you know what, Kaitie, take some accountability, because at the end of the day, some of that stuff you couldn't control them doing, some of that stuff you couldn't control what they did. Yes, but at the same time, you literally have to take accountability. Some things you allowed them to do that you already knew when they started doing it that you didn't feel comfortable with them doing it, or you knew that it was something that you shouldn't even be interacting with. Their energy was off when you met them. That one thing about them. That one thing about them was not for you. And I'm like, you know what? God, you right. You right. Like, when God is right, like, yeah, I've just learned to tell God, you know what? You right. You right. But it makes me, I was in the season at a point in time where it made me reconsider whether or not I need to act differently. And God, like, no, that's not it. You need to focus on why you keep attracting those type of people or those type of things. Why, when you say you don't accept something, why do you end up accepting it? Why, just because somebody tell you something nice, you think that they're a nice person? Really, they got a nasty spirit, and you thinking that, no, they just know how to play you a little bit. They just know how to play the fiddle a little bit. They know how to play the fence a little bit. And I'm also learning too that people will show you who they are by their actions. Maya Angelou said it best: believe them. I'm learning to believe people. If you showing me that you can't be consistent, or you can't put forth no effort, then I'm learning to leave you right where you at. I'm learning that I'm not reciprocating energy, but I'm just letting you go. Because I don't have even the energy to be intertwined with you anymore, or to even have to deal with that, because I'm a good person. And I feel like sometimes I give too much. And I'm learning to, like, do that with discretion. Do that with discretion. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to feel used up or be used up, or get to the point in my life, or get to the point in my season where I'm so bitter with the right people because I was given to the wrong people. I'm so bitter with the right people, but I was given to, I'm taking accountability, was given to the wrong people. I don't want, and some things, like I said, once again, I'm gonna say this all season, some things was not even about me. God just like, if you accept that, don't be the person who generates. Because sometimes we be like, it's a generational curse. Yeah, the other people generated that you just so happen to inherit, and you work, well, you should be working on not trying to carry it on to the next line. But sometimes things happen. But I say all that to say, don't be that person that literally you you generate generational trauma. You carry on generational trauma, and you take it very lightly that it could start and end with you. And sometimes we take very lightly that it didn't start with you, but it can end with you. That's just like me with being sick and on my mom's side, getting a husband that cheats on me, all these different things. Cause like I told you, I'm gonna be honest. Cause I know my family not the only one that have infidelity within the family bloodline. That's a generational curse. So with my family, we literally link up the woman in our family. We link up with men that cheat. We link up with men that are no good, that goes through X, Y, and Z. And sometimes this stuff reveals itself later on. And so literally I'm learning to take some people at face value. Stop trying to dig so deep into a person and see something different than what they're showing you on the surface level. Sometimes their surface level is literally all that they entail. And you have to be okay with that. So I'm learning, like I said, to leave people where they're at, one. And two, stop replaying it. Stop. If it's gonna be a no, and if it's gonna be I'm letting you go, leave it at that. The other day, perfect example, somebody who I used to talk to, and he probably watching this too, but it is what it is. Literally in this moment, literally, I at a point in time, I thought, maybe, it could be rekindled. This person told me that it didn't need to be rekindled. So why am I texting you that I miss you, all that other stuff, like we on that type of timing? So I had to check myself, because I'm like, Kaitie, what are you doing? If they already said that there's no chance for y'all to get back together, why are you still trying to push that narrative? Why are you still trying to pursue that? Why are you still trying to push the issue? Because at the end of the day, you only tearing up your self-esteem. You only tearing up you as a person, because now you're giving energy, or you're giving into somebody who done already told you they good. And I'm learning that another person no need to be my no too, and I need to be okay with that. And so the reason why I couldn't accept his no is because the crazy part was I said no first, and then he said no. So it's like when a person, it's like, how do you confirm the no and the not the need to pursue, and I still want to pursue? Why do I want to pursue when I'm the one initiate the no? It's like, how you do that, Kaitie? Like, how you do that? So even now I'm learning, even with social media, like, if this certain person are moved on and they post the X, Y, and Z, I'm learning to let it go. Let it go. I'm learning that sometimes I say that I'm over stuff, and really I'm not. Really, I still got an attitude about it. Because at the end of the day, sometimes I just feel like when I communicate, because some people say they're good communicators, but I'm a good communicator and I listen. So it's like, if I don't already communicated to you what I need, and it's the bare minimum, it's not even nothing that I need you to provide for me. Because one thing about it, two things for sure, my mom and my daddy raised a person that knows how to, and had to learn how to be independent, how to carry her own, how to take care of herself, how to take care of her mental health, how to go after her goals. My parents taught me all of this stuff. My parents instilled that in me. That's something that won't go, whether I talk to whoever, whether I don't talk to whoever. That's going to stay. And I have to learn that my morals and my principles are the foundation. Besides his word, God's word to be true, and besides God going with me like that, that's a part of my foundation too. And I have to learn to stand on that. Stand on that. And I have to learn that it's okay for things to hurt, but if they don't serve you, it's best now that they exit your life, then stay. Because at the end of the day, that's a weight now that I'm choosing to carry? What am I choosing to carry? So I say all that to say that a lot of the times, we don't want to say it's us, but in this situation, and like I said, a couple of things happened with this dude. So I'm not even going to even put everything on me, because the beginning of my note started with your inconsistencies. The beginning of my note started with your no effort. The beginning of my note started with where I felt like we were unequally yoked spiritually before things even got started good. And I'm learning that too. Like if they're not lining up with your spiritual needs and your spiritual expectations out of a potential partner, not saying they don't belong. Like you, and it's not being hypocritical, but it's being it's you understanding that it's critical to what your purpose is in life. It's critical how much I entertain you and how much I entertain a lustful spirit, or how much I entertain the idea of you and the idea of you loving me. That's not going to change the fact that you don't want to do it. So I'm learning, if you don't want to do it, somebody else will. And if you don't want to do it, God will continue to give me that love, because not my parents was not the first love given to me. It was God's love given to me. That was the first love given to me. And at the end of the day, I have to hold on to his love, because his love don't change. His love don't switch up. His love doesn't leave me. His love doesn't misguide me. His love doesn't use me. But his love pours into me and fills me up and picks me up at times where I didn't even see myself getting back up, but he literally stayed with me till I got back up. And so I'm learning to let go of people. Some of the situation that I put myself in, I should let go of that person. I should let go of a lot of people. Especially when they're not reciprocating the love that you have to give. It's a difference when you know how to be a friend, but it's different when you know how to be a good friend. I'm a good friend. And I think that the older that I get, I also feel like this too, that I felt like people don't really get to know the goofy Kaitie and all this other stuff, because I always say that people be playing with me, but at the same time, like, the situations that I put myself in, or that they put me in, it always lets me have to put my guard up, or let me have to get with them real quick, or let me have to show them, this is this, that is that. And I had to learn that. I just, some things you gotta let it be what it's gonna be. And at the end of the day, I had to let that be what it was gonna be. Um, Me and him, we it's still love, even though, he irritates me to my core. You know, I'm learning that, it's okay. Cause I know some people, they have a thing where they be like, with exes, I don't miss my ex. They blocked her. I don't block none of my exes. I don't block none of my exes. And why? Because at the end of the day, most of me and my exes, we started out as friends. So at the end of the day, I don't want, I'm mature enough. I've always been mature like that though. Like, it's really no bad blood to that extent where it's like, I hate you. Now I will say, one of my exes, I did get to the point where I was like, you know what? I kind of hate you in a way. But I had to learn that that's not the way of the Lord. So don't do that. Don't say that. Don't even put that out there for this person. And, I'm learning to move on, because at the end of the day, that's how you grow. That's how you mature, is moving on when it's time to move on. And I'm learning that. I'm learning that. Move on when it's time to move on. So yeah, y'all. So just letting go of people and being okay with the seasons that they were put in, because I will say, not even just relationship wise, but friendship wise, I remember, some people being put in my life that poured into me, and when their season was up in my life, I had to be okay with that. It hurt a little bit. I'm not gonna cap, because when Katie love you, when I love you, like I love you hard, like that's as a friend or a partner. And I just feel like I have so much love to give, and I do. I know people say that, and they be like, "Don't know." That's how Katie is. I love unconditionally, friend, partner, like that's one of the fruits of the spirit for a reason. So that's what I'm called here to do, is to love on God's people, whether you my partner or whether you my friend. So I'm gonna do that regardless. I'm gonna do that regardless. And I think that's what helps me to stand out to other people. So I have to learn that, you know, it's not even about you, Katie. Like it's about letting your light shine, and it's about knowing that these things will be hard. Like they will be hard, but it's necessary for your growth, and it's necessary for your path that God has set you on. It's necessary for you to learn that lesson in its entirety, because sometimes you gotta let go of people just to learn a lesson, just learn a lesson that you could move on from that. So the things that may used to could have you bound, now they don't have you bound, because you're quicker to respond less or quicker to respond more. So I'm learning, like, letting go of people, like it's hard, but that scripture just continues to marinate within my mind, my heart, and my soul, to just understand that if it sets me apart from God, then it's not for me. Not on this journey that I'm on. Not in the path that He has me on. And you have to figure out, what is the path that God has you on, because at the end of the day, it may be important for, you to keep certain people to build into other people. But I'm learning that God knows that I've been through a lot, and He already has told me that, certain things, it's like, you know you'll be okay. It'll be okay, and you'll be okay. And you have to be okay with that being okay, and know that your being okay, it's not something that you always will like. But it's something that is for your journey and needed for you. And I had to learn that too. Like, don't compromise your peace, your sanity, your spirituality, your relationship with God. Don't compromise these things for a moment. Don't compromise these things for your personal gain or your personal reasons. Don't compromise don't compromise your well-being for a person, because one thing about a person that will let you do that, a person that will let you do that, they're not for you. And at the end of the day, you do reap what you sow. But at the end of the day, you don't have to be a ground that they sow into. You just have to learn how to walk away quicker. And I'm learning that too, walking away quicker, like walking away from people who don't have my best intentions at heart. I'm learning to walk away. I'm learning to, like I say, accept things as it is. Um, I'm just learning. Like it's an everyday learning thing. This is those things that I'm young, but like I'm learning, like I said, to be okay with the no, be okay with the walking away. It's okay to be hurt and all that. It's okay. It's okay to feel the way you feel, because I don't believe in invalidating people's feelings. But sometimes it's not even about how you feel. It's about what's needed for your life. And I'm learning that letting go of people and being quicker to do it saves me so much time, saves me so much more heartache, saves me so much more. How I want to say this, it saves me more. I can't say it because it's not coming to me the correct way. But yeah, like it saves you a lot. And letting go of people will help you to understand that um it just will help you understand a lot better to just know that, God has better for you, and that he would. So one thing, it's a couple of things I always say. God would never send somebody who can distract, who can who can distract you, who will want you to compromise. He's not going to send a person that comes with complete chaos into your life. He's not going to do that. If that person is doing all of that or the above or more, that's not your person. And we have to stop doing that too. Stop saying everybody who you with, girl, is your person. Some people are just meant to be friends, and some people, like Mama just said, just meant to just be in your life for that season. Everybody that you be with ain't gotta be your person. It don't have to be my man, my man, my man every time with every dude. Cause we trying to get to my husband, my husband, my husband. Okay, so we can't be doing wifely stuff for every partner that we got, sis. Like we can't be doing it. We got to stop doing it. We got to start seeing, what how much do you pour into me? Do you reciprocate energy? Do you pour into me as much as I pour into you? And the number one thing I always tell people, how I'm able to let go of people more quicker now. Excuse me. Do you compromise, or do you put at risk my path of purpose? And do you put me in a compromising decision where I walk away from God, or I'm slowly going, I'm slowly going into the deep end and not the clear. So say like this person that I'm talking to, if I know I go to church every Sunday pretty much, most Sundays pretty much, unless something just happens or something goes wrong, I'm pretty much in church. If I know that church and him having a relationship with God is important to me, and I know that I want a kingdom spouse or a man of God, whatever in that category you say. If I know that is something that I want, why am I with a person who can't even go to church? Why am I with a person that I can't even pray with? Why am I with a person that I can't fast for or fast with, or vice versa? Why am I with a person who can't speak positivity or speak life over whatever is going on or over me, or vice versa? If I can't do that, then that automatically makes you not for me. Because at the end of the day, I know what God told me the first time. I know what he promised me. So at the end of the day, I'm learning that no matter what you may think you have a hold of me, that I will outgrow that. That those strings that you think, or those strongholds you may think that you have over me, they will be detached. Because I know that God is on my side, and at the end of the day, I know that God pulls me back in. Even when I don't know how to pull myself back in, God is going to pull me back in. So it's okay. It's okay for you to think that, but God got me. And as long as I know that God got me, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. God got me. And that is all that matters. Um and as long as you have him on this journey of letting go of people and making sure, and that's another thing. It's some people that they had to walk away from me because literally me staying was stunning my growth and also hurting me mentally and spiritually. And it takes an honest person, and it takes just a person who knows that they're not perfect and that we all have something to work on. It takes a real person to say, listen, this is something that I just can't do with you no more. This cycle is not healthy. This cycle is not for me. And that's something that's another day for another time. But I'll get more into this story later on down the line somewhere. Um I literally was in a situation at a point in time where I was a fiance. I was a fiance. Only my close friends knew. My family didn't even really know. But I guess they know now. My family didn't even know. But at a point in time, I was engaged, and just saying it out loud. How you 19 and engaged? Like, girl, get out of here. But but no, it wasn't even that. But it was just a person. It was like, how that work? They ain't met your parents. Like, this was stuff that Kaitie was doing. And this is why I say, when you look back and you know you grow, because you be accountable, you're like, that was real stupid. And I had to let him go. And a little bit of it was, he didn't meet my parents. And I know one thing that we spoke about, if I was to get married to a person, I want them to meet my parents, and I want them to ask for my hand in marriage from my parents or my father specifically. He didn't do that. It always was an excuse when it came to church, or when it came to us praying together, or us fasting together. Um, or just him being negative in situations where just positivity and prayer was needed. And also too, it was certain activities that he was engaging in that I just felt like it wasn't for me. I wasn't okay with it. This is not something that I want my partner to in taking certain activities. This is not something that I want. Um, it was that. And so all these different things, now that I think back about it, I'm glad that I changed my mind. And I don't know who that is for, but it is okay for you to change your mind about something. It is okay for you to change your mind about a situation. Just because you're attached to that person, say you have a kid with that person, or say this person introduce something bad to you, or this person has ties to you in whatever way, it is okay to start over and let go of that person, because at the end of the day, it's rather you learn that lesson now and that you have the autonomy to leave now, than you be in a situation where you can't leave at all. And that was another thing too. I had to say to myself, God, why am I so numb to you and accepting the things that I know you asked me not to? And I know I was called to do ministry. And that was another thing. Like, how you gonna be with somebody who not even okay with you doing ministry? Like, girl, get out of here. And so I had to understand that later on it's not gonna be about you. Really, it was never about you. But it's not about you later. So do the right thing now. Change your behavior now. Take accountability now. Let go of that person now. Um, and so I'm glad that I let him go. Um, and I ceased all contact too. Because sometimes, in order for your vision not to be conscripted or blurred, sometimes you got to cease communication with a person. You got to stop answering. You got to stop calling. You got to stop texting. You got to stop answering their calls, start answering their texts. And I felt better. I felt a weight lifted off of me, because I'm like, you know what? Now I don't feel like I have to do that. I don't feel like I'm bottled down and tied to you anymore in that capacity. And you have to pray that your no stays your no, and that you have some sense of peace with it. Pray that you'll be able to move on from, if connect with this person in whatever way, that soul tie lifts off of you, that stronghold lifts off of you. Because at the end of the day, it's important for your growth. Like I said, it's important to go with God, not about what you want to do. Like, yes, he gives you the freedom, and yes, he gives you your self-will. But if Kaitie's will was what I wanted to do at 19, man, I be screwed. I'm almost in my mid-20s. When I'm telling you, I would be a divorcee, probably to have 5 kids. It's like, girl, the type of life you would have walked into, the type of life you would have walked into would have been one heck of a mess. And I'm glad that God snatched me out before I got deeper into the mess. And like I said, I had to pray about it. I had to truly self evaluate. Um, like I said, it was difficult and it hurt, but it was something that had to be done. And I'm telling you right now that I understand the older I get when our grandparents used to say, keep living. Because at the end of the day, I literally had to keep living to see why that decision wasn't for me. And you talking about 6+ years later, and here we are. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm glad I did that. My answer still would have been the same. It still would have been a no. Um, and so yeah, like never think like you too deep into something that you can't get out of it. Because at the end of the day, like I said, if you know that God goes with you and he's in there with you, and he sits high, listen, it's only up that you can go. Because at the end of the day, no matter how deep you put yourself into something, if God, like I said, God honors accountability and progress. If he sees you doing both, you okay in his eyes. Really, you were okay. You were okay. And like the stuff that you may have been doing, yes, God may didn't like that, or he may feel some type of way about that. But at the end of the day, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for those decisions that you made. Forgive yourself for the things that you put yourself in. Forgive yourself for the disobedience that you exercised with God, the rebelliousness you did with God because you wanted this, you wanted that. Um, you know, you want to be somewhere with God, but God like, nah, son, I ain't letting you go. I ain't letting you go that easy. I ain't letting you fall that hard. It got to be a little cushion. Um, and so I'm learning, that everything will be okay in the end. But I just have to have faith that it will move forward to the way that it's supposed to move, and also that, like I say, in the end, you will be okay. And in the end, no matter what that person may tell you, whether they say you can't do nothing without me or you gonna regret it, no, no, because if anything, when my presence is not there, it's surely gonna be felt. And I just always tell them, peace be with you. Because at the end of the day, I'm going with God. Yeah, that's my answer. No, I told you I say less. I'm going with God. Peace be with you. That may just have to start being your answer. So yeah, like I said, I hope this wasn't such a lengthy episode, but I want you to truly meditate, um, reevaluate, self-evaluate. Evaluate whether or not you have high self-esteem, mid self-esteem, or low self-esteem. Evaluate what level is your confidence on. Evaluate what sense of self-control you have. Evaluate what sense of accountability that you have. All of these things tie into the choices that we make and the things that we do and the things that we don't do and the things that we walk away from. And like I said, letting go of people will be easier in due time for you, um, when we do all of those things, where we self-evaluate all of those different aspects of just us, because it starts with us first. And know that we're going to be stronger than ever, sis. You got this. Give yourself some grace. God gave you grace and mercy for a reason, and give yourself grace and ask for forgiveness. If it's something that you feel like you can't come back from, God is like, you know what, my grace is My blood covered that too. My grace and my mercy covered that too. Like I said, go to him. It's nothing that you can't go to him with. Cause he always gonna be like, I got that. I got you too. Okay, what's next? This is where you need to be. Get back in his word. Pray, fast, evaluate. I'm telling you, change behavior. The more you practice it, the more better it will get, the more better you will get at doing it. Take a hiatus if need be. And know that in any situation that you got this. Letting go of people, you got this. You're going to get the hang of it, sis. Family or friends, you're going to get the hang of it. Partners, you're going to get the hang of it. It's never too late for you to start over. And I want you to grow. So just do it, sis. It's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. Know that I love you and I am praying for you, you guys. That is the end of this episode. I hope you were able to take away something. I hope into this series that it is blessing some people, because I know you guys, even with you guys' responses, you guys are blessing me, and know that I'm taking it in and that I'm truly grateful. And I thank God that he continues to keep me, he continues to cover me, and he continues to show me that, Kaitie, you got this. Even when you may not feel like you ain't got it, you got it. Because I got you. You got this because I got you. Because who's steering the car. So yeah, I love y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed today's episode. Please, please, please stay tuned for the next episode of the one-on-one series with Kaitie, because like I said, we're only mid-season, but we have so much more to address and so much more to go and to grow. And that's how we're gonna go. We're gonna go with God. We're gonna go with God, sis. And we're gonna be all right. I will see you guys in the next video. Love y'all. Bye bye. Mwah.